He has been watching her for 4 years. Not occasionally, not when something interesting is happening, always. Every room she walks into, he is already there, or he follows within 30 seconds. Every time she sits down, he positions himself somewhere with a clear sightline. Every time she leaves, he watches the door. Every time she comes back, he is in the same place he was when she left, like he never moved. Like watching the door was simply the only reasonable thing to do while she was gone. Maya spent 3 years calling it creepy. Then she spent the 4th year figuring out what it actually was. His name is Urkel, an orange American short-hair tabby with amber eyes and the energy of someone who has decided that surveillance is a form of love and has committed to that position completely. Maya adopted him at 11 weeks, a small, wiry kitten from a city rescue who arrived in her apartment, assessed the layout, and appointed himself her permanent shadow before the end of day 1. She did not ask for this. She did not train it. It simply happened, the way things happen with orange cats, which is to say, suddenly and without negotiation, and with an air of total confidence that this was always how it was going to go. She had not expected a cat that would sleep on her bed and tolerate being held occasionally and mostly do its own thing, the way she had always understood cats to operate. She had not expected to acquire something that would spend 4 years treating her whereabouts as its primary professional responsibility. The watching started immediately, not the watching of a nervous cat in a new environment, looking around because everything is unfamiliar. This was directed, specific. Urkel watched Maya, not the apartment, not the windows, not the other furniture. Her. When she was on the couch, he was on the back of the couch, slightly behind her left shoulder, eyes forward. When she worked at her desk, he sat on the shelf to her right, where he could see both her face and the door at the same time. When she cooked, he sat on the kitchen floor at the exact midpoint between the stove and the refrigerator, tracking her movement between the two with the calm attention of someone who had seen this routine before and was simply making sure it concluded correctly. Her friend Jess came over in the 2nd month and watched Urkel watch Maya for about 10 minutes before she said anything. "Does he ever stop?" "No," Maya said. "Does it bother you?" Maya thought about it. It did at first. Now it just feels like he's taking attendance. Jess looked at Urkel. Urkel did not look at Jess. He looked at Maya. "That cat," Jess said slowly, "is deeply, profoundly in love with you." "He's a cat," Maya said. "Maya," Jess said, "that cat is in love with you." Maya did not have a good response to this, so she changed the subject. But the word stayed with her. In love. As a descriptor for an 8-pound tabby who tracked her movements through her own apartment with the focused dedication of something that had made a decision and was not revisiting it. She looked it up later that night, which she was aware was a strange thing to do, searching whether tats could be in love with their owners the way Jess had meant it. What she found was less dramatic, but no less significant. Cats that form primary attachments display what behaviorists describe as proximity-seeking behavior, sustained visual monitoring, and distress responses to separation. All 3. Urkel had been doing all 3 since week 1. She had just been calling it something else. If this is the kind of story that stays with you long after it ends, you are exactly who this channel is made for. Some stories deserve to be heard. I see you still haven't subscribed. That honestly stings a little. Hit that subscribe button right now. You will not regret it. Urkel's watching was not passive. That was the thing Maya took a long time to understand. It looked passive. He was always still, always quiet, always just there in whatever spot gave him the best view. But it was not passive. It was active attention held so steadily that it had simply stopped looking like effort. She tested it once in year 2. She moved through the apartment in a different pattern than usual, going from the bedroom to the kitchen to the bathroom to the living room in a loop, just to see what he would do. Urkel followed the first 2 rooms, then stopped in the hallway, assessed her trajectory, and went directly to the living room to wait for her. He had not followed her route, he had predicted it, and he was already there when she arrived, sitting in his spot, watching the doorway, perfectly positioned. She stood in the doorway for a moment looking at him. "You mapped this apartment," she said. Urkel looked at her. "You know every room. You know where I'm going before I get there." He blinked once, slowly. American short-haired tabbies are among the most adaptable and observant domestic cat breeds. They learn routines quickly, they track patterns, they bond selectively and deeply, and once a bond is formed, they orient their entire behavioral world around the person they have chosen. What looks like casual observation in an American short-haired tabby is almost always active monitoring. They are not watching because they are bored, they are watching because watching is how they protect. Urkel was not watching Maya because he found her interesting, he was watching her because she was his, and he was making sure she stayed that way. In year 3, Maya had a week where she worked late every night, coming home after 10, skipping her usual evening routine, moving through the apartment quickly and going straight to bed. Urkel adjusted within 2 days. He moved his evening position from the living room to the bedroom doorway, cutting the distance between his watch post and where she ended up. He did not complain about the changed schedule, he just recalculated and repositioned, the way you do when you are responsible for something and the circumstances shift. She noticed it on the 3rd night, stood in the bedroom doorway looking at him in his new spot, and felt something she could not immediately name. It took her until the following weekend to find the word. Tended to. She felt tended to by a cat who had rearranged his entire surveillance operation to account for her longer hours, without being asked, without complaint, without missing a single evening. Today, Urkel still watches. He's doing it right now from his spot on the back of the couch, positioned exactly where he can see the hallway, the front door, and Maya simultaneously. He has not moved in 40 minutes. He will not move until she does. He always will. He has his spots and his sight lines and his knowledge of every pattern Maya runs in this apartment, and he uses all of it every day to keep track of the one thing in his world that matters. She stopped calling it creepy somewhere in year 3. She stopped trying to name it at all somewhere in year 4. Now she just lets him watch, because she has figured out, finally, what it actually is. It is not surveillance. It is not obsession. It is not a behavioral quirk or an anxiety response. It is just a small orange cat who decided on approximately day 1 that this person was worth watching over and has not changed his mind since. Some love looks like grand gestures. Some love looks like an orange tabby on the back of your couch, watching the door, waiting for you to come home. Would you want a cat who never takes his eyes off you? Or would that be too much? Tell me in the comments.